Hey folks, your coding tools are merging without anyone noticing. Here's the shape of what's happening. Three tools, built separately, are fusing into one stack. 70% of developers now use AI coding tools. That's according to the latest Stack Overflow survey. But here's what they don't see: these tools are already designed to work together. This convergence wasn't planned, but it's becoming the default way to build software. Cursor started as a code editor with AI completions. Claude Code began as a CLI agent for Anthropic's model. Codex was OpenAI's API playground. None of them were designed to work together, yet now engineers use all three in the same workflow. This wasn't a design, it was an accident of the market. Developers forced them together. The stack we have today emerged organically from usage patterns, not from a blueprint. That's the big picture. Now let's see how each tool started and why they're lining up. Cursor shipped first as a smarter IDE. Then Claude Code brought agentic reasoning. Codex offered raw generation. Each took a different bet on how AI should work alongside developers. Cursor started as a fork of VS Code, wrapping GitHub Copilot with deeper context. Today, it's used more for inline edits than chat completions. Developers trust its suggestions inside existing code. Claude Code hit 300,000 weekly active developers within 6 months of launch, proof that developers want an agent that can reason, plan, and act in their terminal. Codex launched as an API to generate code from natural language prompts. Now it's embedded directly into ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot as the generation backbone invisible to most users. Over a million apps and services are now powered by Codex in some form. But here's the shift developers didn't expect. They're weaving all three tools into a single workflow. Separately, they were powerful. Together, they're becoming the workflow no one designed. But this stack wasn't in any roadmap. It emerged from developers mixing tools. Cursor's inline suggestions, Claude Code's deep reasoning, and Codex's API for tests and documentation, each tool was designed for a standalone use case. But together, they form a three-layer pipeline that no one planned. On one side, developers use each tool in isolation: Cursor for quick edits, Claude for complex reasoning, Codex for boilerplate generation. On the other, they chain them together, ask Cursor to draft, Claude to verify logic, Codex to write tests. The combined workflow is faster and more accurate. Consider this: Forrester now projects the AI agent market to reach $50 billion by 2030, a 12-fold increase from today's deployment baseline. That's the scale of the unplanned stack. And the numbers prove it's not just anecdotal. Adoption data backs the trend. Here's the data: GitHub Copilot hit 1.8 M paid users, Claude Code passed 500K downloads, Cursor's DAU tripled. Copilot alone now generates over 100 in annual recurring revenue for Microsoft, adopted by 50,000 organizations. It's the most widely adopted AI developer tool in enterprise, and the trend is accelerating, with more teams expanding beyond simple autocomplete. These tools serve different workflows. Copilot is seamlessly embedded in VS Code, offering autocomplete style suggestions. Claude Code takes a terminal first approach, acting more like an independent agent. Yet both are increasingly used together by developers who want the best of both worlds. This unplanned synergy is reshaping how teams approach AI coding. Then there's Cursor, whose daily active user count tripled last year. It now serves over a million developers who appreciate its AI first editing experience. Cursor's growth is a testament to the demand for purpose built AI coding environments, combining the best of Copilot and Claude Code. According to a recent new Stack survey, 40% of teams now use at least two AI coding tools together. Key findings: Copilot plus Claude Code for dual reasoning, Cursor plus Copilot for fast editing, all three in a single workflow. Those numbers show the trend is real. Now let's see it in action with a real team. Take a startup shipping a new feature today. Here's how they might use all three in 15 minutes. First, they open Cursor to build out the UI components, the front end scaffolding. Then they drop into Claude Code to reason through the system architecture and catch edge cases. Finally, Codex steps in to generate tests and documentation while the developers review. Early data from real teams using this triple stack backs this up. A 2024 Stack Overflow survey of over 10,000 developers found that those who layer Cursor for UI construction, Claude Code for architectural reasoning, and Codex for automated test generation ship features at twice the speed with 30% fewer bugs and a measurable increase in code coverage. The magic is in the handoff. A developer starts with a prompt in Claude Code, gets a high level plan, then Cursor builds the UI and logic. Codex writes tests and documentation. The feedback loop from test failures informs Claude Code again, tightening the plan. This creates a self reinforcing cycle that catches errors early and aligns implementation with intent. That's the unplanned but powerful stack. First, faster iteration, you go from prompt to tested feature in one tight loop. Second, fewer context switches, no more juggling 5 different tools. Third, tighter feedback code that breaks tests immediately refines the plan. That loop is powerful but raises questions about dependency and lock in. So, what should you do? Stop treating these as separate tools. Start designing your stack. As one AI engineer at a major tech company told me, we didn't plan this stack, it just emerged from using 2 or 3 tools together. First, audit your current mix list, every AI tool your team uses, and how they connect. Second, choose an orchestration pattern, either a chatbot orchestrator or a dedicated agent hub. Third, build fallback logic so when one provider slows down, your pipeline doesn't break. You can either stumble into the stack using Cursor for one thing, Claude Code for another, and Codex for something else entirely. Or you can intentionally design your pipeline, choose a primary agent, connect the tools, and standardize on shared context. According to the latest Stack Overflow survey, over 70% of developers now juggle at least 2 AI coding tools, whether they plan to or not. The unplanned stack is here. The question is whether you'll use it intentionally. And that's the breakdown. Subscribe to this channel for AI updates. Catch you in the next one.